What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the HFD Footy podcast. Chris C here. We got the King of the North.
The King of the North. G'day.
How are you, man? Good?
Yeah, good. Going good. Good round of footy.
We got my favourite Paw supporter, Bruno, back in on the panel, on the show. How are you, Bruno?
Pretty well. Pleasure to be back.
Yeah, and the one and only Johnny Carlton. How are you, champ?
Good, mate. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you guys back. Quick shout out before we start. Cosmic Landing, music by Cosmic Landing. Follow them, guys. Link is in the description of this video. What a week, man. What a week of footy. What a weekend of footy we just had. Some great games. Some not so great games, but yeah, it was an interesting week. Good to have round one back. Actually feels like footy's back, not like the week before. But yeah, interesting. But look, the biggest news coming out, like even today, before we get into the round, I'm gonna find it because we weren't going to talk about it straight away. But it was the Tassie team, guys. The Tasmanian Devils are in town. They're in town. They're Tasmanian Devils. Tasmanian football is alive. They've just announced they're going to be called the Tasmanian Devils. They've got the logo. They've got the colours. And they got the Guernsey. They got 82,000 members. Unbelievable. And apparently, I heard a rumour on the grapevine that the King of the North is a member. Is that true?
That could be true.
You wouldn't be alone in that, actually. I've got a membership as well, and I think I heard it's gone to 100,000 as well. So quite a few people on board already.
Yeah, nice $10 for the inaugural membership. So
what is going on?
Jumped on board.
Well, for $10, man. I mean, $10 it's a good bargain, isn't it?
It is. You get a sticker for your $10. So there we go.
Jeez. Well, I gotta just say quickly. I've got the Guernsey up on screen. That is the ugliest looking Guernsey I've ever seen in my life.
It really is.
I don't like. They could have. I mean, couldn't they think of something better than that? I mean, even if they had the logo, their logo's like killer.
Put the devil, put the Tasmanian devil in the middle.
The devil would have been wild, but I'm not a fan of that.
And
I don't know.
Tasmania, like put the little Tasmania in where the devil is. That would have been much better.
Bruno, is that the state jumper?
For the most part, yes, and that leads to because I'm of the opinion that it's it's not a terrible jumper, and I really love the Tassie State jumper. I think they've botched the execution. The shade of red is like the original shade Tassie was using, and not the sort of more maroon color that they ended up using in the later years, which I think is what people are more familiar with. But because it is essentially the state jumper, it leaves me with this weird sort of feeling, should they wear it? Because last time we saw a team try and do that, it rightfully was shut down at the beginning. So it's an odd one. I have a lot of thoughts about their whole identity. I mean, I'm not loving the logo. I think it's kind
Oh,
of,
really?
yeah, it's very different to all the other logos in the league, which can be a good thing, can be a bad thing, but it feels as though they've tried to go for something extremely modern and almost too modern that it already kind of is starting to look a little bit past it already. And they've sort of, and then you've got such a modern, flashy, unique logo, and then the jumper is just plain and simple. I would have thought this was a golden opportunity for them to get creative, use the state colors, but try something very different. And they went with that. They went in that direction for the logo. I'm not huge on it, but they should have gone in that direction for the jumper, if I'm being completely honest as well.
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I actually like the logo, but yeah, just I don't know about in the middle. You know how they got the outline of Tasmania. I just don't know if that appeals to me. I don't know. And it's got the T there. The T. Get rid of the T. The T. No T.
Well, I think they wanted to be really on par with the original jumper, which I understand the attachment to it, because a lot of people have complained about the T and just the map and all sorts of things. But yeah, I'm more just the outline of the map is just so janky and straight lines. It looks really basic, like someone just figured out how to use the line tool on paint and has just really quickly tried to outline the state of Tassie. It's just not.
Yeah.
Could be a lot better, I think.
Yeah. Nah, look, also, like, you know, this is the first state team we're having in the competition. So is that weird for you guys? Because, like, you know, Adelaide Crows tried to bring a state jumper back a few years ago, and that got denied. Now this is a state team. Like, I thought it was going to be like the Hobart, you know, like Hobart Hurricanes or something like that. You know, like the cricket, or, you know, not the state team. Is that because it's so small? That's why they're doing that?
I would think so, yes. And I think I don't know how big of a factor this is, but everyone seems to say that there's this rivalry between Hobart and Launceston, and they don't want to alienate the fans from Launceston, which is understandable. And Tassie is small enough. I think the only reason it seems weird is because there isn't really a state that they could do this in that has teams already. Like, the NT is probably the only territory where you would name them after the territory, because you got Darwin and Alice Springs, but all these other cities, they're kind of just the main cities in their state. So they kind of served that function when they came in without having to be named after the state. But I don't necessarily see the issue with them being called Tasmania. Where I think I have the issue is them sort of saying that this team coming in that's going to have a lot of non-Tasmanian players is the equivalent of the old state team that was made up of purely Tasmanian players. You're going to have players like Colby, I think it's Colby McKercher from Tassie. He's going to be playing for North against the traditional Tassie jumper. It's just doesn't sit right at all, I feel.
Yeah, no, fair enough, man. And Johnny Carlton, what's your view, man? What's your view on this Tasmanian team? You gonna buy a membership or what?
Oh, definitely not. That's not happening. Yeah, no. Look, when it came out, look, to me, I think the jersey looks like a basketball jersey to me. I'm sorry, it just reminds me of something a basketball team will wear. Doesn't look footy to me. Look, I'm not too worried about the team. I'm just worried about what it's going to do to the AFL. So now, obviously, with this team coming in, yeah, I know it's still 4 years away, but now this team is going to be an odd number into the AFL, so which is going to be now 19 teams. So now that means one team in 4 years is going to have an extra week off.
Okay.
All right. And as everyone obviously likes their footy and they hate when their team is not playing. Yeah, and obviously, look, first interstate team, they're trying something new. They tried it like with AFLX. They've tried everything like this opening round. Look, as I said, 82,000 members is crazy already. And everyone's jumping on board. Everyone's excited. But yeah, no, I didn't see the hype around it. As I said, I just feel like it's just going to ruin the AFL. As I said, when Gold Coast came in a couple of years ago, before the Giants arrived, you could see that it really affected the AFL with another team having a bye every week. Look, it could be a positive, it could be a negative. If you had a player out and he had a 1 week injury, then obviously he doesn't miss a game and all that type of stuff. But if you're in a very good momentum and you've won the last three won the last 3 or 4, and you're going into this bye, it can ruin your whole season, to be honest. So as I said, I'm not too worried about the team. As I said, what Bruno covered all about the logo and the team and the state and everything like that. So I won't get into too much detail. But yeah, as I said, I just don't see the hype around it. And yeah, as I said, I just feel like it's gonna ruin the AFL. And yeah, just that I agree with you, Chris. That T on that jumper looks disgusting. So
Not good.
I just think the whole jumper just looks, as I said, it just looks like a basketball jersey. And obviously with Tasmania, they don't have a lot of sports. They don't have a Tasmania soccer team. The closest Tasmanian cricket team is probably Hobart Hurricanes. They don't have an actual big bash league team. As I said, yeah, it's just probably like basketball or netball I can think of. But yeah, as I said, look, it's a small country, right? The ground's not going to fit a lot of people as well. So, as I said, this is going to be new to the players now. This is going to be the furthest they've ever travelled as well. So, yeah, and as I said, well, look, I'm just glad it's still 4 years away and we can just focus on AFL for a couple of years. So, yeah, as I said, I'm not too worried about it. I'll just, when it comes closer to the day, then I can put more detail in it for now. But yeah, I just feel like it's just going to ruin the AFL. So,
well, the draft's going to be compromised, as well, like what happened to GWS and Gold Coast. The only way, and you said about the buys. Now, the only way they can fix that is get a 20th team. But who becomes the 20th team? You know what I mean? Then it's another conversation. Is there enough room for a Northern Territory team? Is there room for another Western Australian team or an Adelaide team? I don't think Adelaide. I think we're too small for 3 teams. But, we still got, there's grassroots footy. There's still SANFL teams that would love to be in the AFL, like Norwood and Sturt and all those kinds. But then, you take away from the Crows because most of those, you start to cannibalise the Crows then. Do you know what I mean? So it's a hard one, man. It's hard to just make a team.
I worry about whether there's a player pool either, like enough players to sustain in a 20-team comp. I've been of the opinion they should drop it back to 14 if there was a reasonable way to do it. But 20 is getting too
exactly
far,
when you put 20 teams in the comp, that's like a Premier League. That's like a whole league. If they're going to do that, there should be a relegation zone actually to make it interesting. Like, there's some VFL clubs that can actually go up to AFL level and actually make some competition, right? 20 teams is too long in a competition. There's just too many teams. Like, yeah, I get Premier League is different. Premier League only do top 4, get to go through other leagues and stuff like that. But yeah, as I said, 20 teams. If 20 teams comes in, are they going to make it a top 10 now instead of a top 8?
It's true. Yeah, interesting. It's
as
interesting,
I said,
man.
There's a lot of things that could happen to the AFL in the next 10 years. So this could be the start of a whole brand new game and a whole brand new league and everything like that. As I said, it's
all right. Well, King of the North, just quickly, what's your thoughts, man? Even though you're a member, so what's your quick thoughts, man?
I just thought it looked all right. I seen the website and grabbed the $10 membership. So we'll see how we go. You get a sticker for your trouble. I wonder I wonder if they're going to try and take one of the Victorian teams and merge them into Tassie, like a North Melbourne, for example. So to keep 18, because if you've got 20, obviously, like you say, it's too many, and there's the talent pool gets too thin, and then you get crap football and all that sort of stuff. So and you don't want a equivalent sort of thing that happened in New South Wales, where you had the Super League and you had the NRL, and you just cannibalised your game completely and almost killed your sport. So they've got to be really careful what they do, what sort of talent they're going to get to play out of Tasmania as well. And these guys have got to imagine travelling from Tasmania to Western Australia twice, and then coming back and recovering, and it's going to be like that trip is like that trip to Queensland and the trip to South Australia and Western Australia from Tassie. It's going to be full on. So we'll just have to see where they go. But obviously, they're trying to make it the national game. So they're including Tassie. But your next step, you can't go to. There's nothing up in Northern Territory. So there is you do have the Canberra Raiders in NRL. So whether there's another territory that you could possibly go into. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, just at the moment, it's a bit of a novelty, and like 82,000 people jumping on. They're obviously, they're supporting other clubs for sure. But yeah, let's see what happens.
All right, guys. Well, look, we can talk about this all night, but the season, the round one has to be started because there's a few crazy games. So we'll leave it at that, and then we'll follow it closely as the season goes on and the year goes on, and see what happens. But before we do go on, guys, hello to everyone in the chat. Champs says hello. At the moment, how you going? He reckons the concept is utterly predictable. A grade 3 kid could have put that together. Looks like a netball jersey. Carlton the Bulldogs, hey mate, how are you? And Johnny Crom says, sorry guys, couldn't be there. Wish I could have been there tonight, lads. Go the Crom. Thinking about you, Johnny. Thinking about you, mate. Much love, man. All right. And Amanda says hello. Hello, Amanda. All right, so let's get to the good stuff, guys. Let's get to the good stuff. All right. I've been waiting for this this time because, look, we're going to go straight into it. Now, the game we're going to go into is the first game of the round, which is the Mighty Blues, the Baggers, versus Richmond. And what a game. What a game. 12-14-86 to 12-9-81. Who thought Richmond could have, got that close? I didn't. I thought it was going to be, a blowout. Johnny Carlton thought it was going to be a blowout. And that's why I'm going to give it over to Johnny Carlton, because this is what we're going to do now, guys. This segment is called the Johnny Carlton Rant. Okay? He's not happy. The Carlton man's not happy. And here we go. Johnny Carlton Rant. I want to hear exactly... I've been waiting for this. Been waiting for this all week. And I want to hear your rant, man. So, is it going to be a bold call of the week as well today?
There will be, yes.
All right. Let's get the rant over with, man. I want to hear this rant.
All right. Obviously, as the supporters are going to know, I'm a very diehard Carlton supporter. So I travel interstate to go watch Carlton and everything. So look, obviously opening round's finished. Round 1, Thursday night, back at the G. Football's back. That's the game to start it off with. You know what I mean? Look, going there was a bit... Look, the day was just horrendous to start with. I had a shit day at work before going to the game. It was just hot. It was just horrendous. Going to the game, could see a couple thousand people walking to the game. It was good. It was a good vibe. Footy's back. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's laughing. Obviously, I'm sitting about level 3, so not too far. Obviously, grabbed the footy record because obviously I just love to read about AFL. So I was reading my records before pre-game. Anyways, said to myself, I'm like, if everyone knows me, I cannot stand Richmond. All right, I do not like Richmond at all. All right, I know coming from Carlton supporter, you're like, oh, Collingwood's probably your worst team. No, Richmond, I cannot stand Richmond. So, anyways, pre-game's happening. There's fireworks. There's everything. Richmond's getting fireworks. Carlton's getting this big pre-game entertainment, fireworks galore. Like, it was just like we've just won the grand final. Anyways, the boys are coming out. They're looking good. We're singing the song, everything like that. Now, Johnny's rant. There was two guys in front of me, right? Richmond supporters, okay? I'm sitting down there reading my record, singing the song. 2 minutes later, the security guard comes up to me. And I'm like, he goes, hello. I go, yes. He goes, do you mind just quietly talk? And I'm like, sorry? He was like, do you mind just talking, but can you do it quietly? I'm like, we're not at a cemetery, mate. We're at the MCG in front of 80,000 people. I'm not going to sit down there and talk quiet while my team's running out to the song. I'm singing my song loud and proud. All right? The security guy goes, yeah, no worries. That's fine. You can sing it, but just keep it down a bit. I'm like, all right. Well, look, I'm not going to get into a fight with the security guard. All right. Saying my song. They were introducing the players' names. Cripper won the toss. Everyone's G'ing up. Last 60 seconds, there's a countdown. Security guard comes back up to me and he's like, you need to stop spitting on people's heads, mate. I'm like, me spitting on people's heads? Are you Richmond fans? The game's not even started yet and they're already complaining. I'm like, it's not my fault you lost the Gold Coast by 40 points last week. Like, why? Anyways, look, game went on. Watching the first quarter, and I'm like, Richmond look on. We do not look on at all. We've kicked the first two goals, but we do not look on. Second quarter's happening. I'm going to my mate. I'm like, what the hell are we watching? What Richmond looks like they're in their prime. They've got Tom Lynch back, Dusty back, and they feel like they're going to win another premiership. They look better than us. We can't even do anything right. Anyways, half-time came, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. First of all, $6.20 for a bowl of chips is ridiculous as well. I'm never buying food from the MCG again. From $4.20 to $6.40 is absolute rip-off. So, anyways, my night's just getting worse and worse and worse. Third quarter's happening, and Richmond's kicked 2 goals in a row, and they're actually taking a 10-point lead. I'm like, oh, my God, I can't watch this. I cannot watch this. Like, let me get this straight. Richmond have 3 players injured. They've used their sub. They're down to 1 player on their bench, and they're faster than us. They look better than us. They've got more fire than us, and we're just look like we're sitting ducks. Where's the Carlton from the Carlton in the Gabba to this? Look, as I said, how we scraped away with that win, I don't understand. All these Carlton fans around me are all happy. We've got the 4 points. We've won. They're laughing. We're 2-0. And I said to myself, you should not be happy about that performance because that was the worst performance I've ever seen from Carlton against Richmond. Just Chris, as much as I can tell you, mate, I was fuming. Everyone was singing the song and I'm sitting there like I was fuming. I was about to spray at the Carlton Football Club. You bring up that beautiful performance at the Gabba to nearly losing to Richmond. Richmond, the team that lost by 40 points to Gold Coast. Okay? Because they bring 2 players in doesn't mean they're a different team. Like, Charlie Curnow, right? You marked it right in front of the goal. Why would you play on? Why would you play on?
Why would you?
Time,
Yep.
step back, kick a goal. Why are you playing on?
Yeah.
It's not like we're 30 points behind and we have 4 minutes to go on the clock. We're 3 goals up. Take your time, kick the goal, and finish the game. No, you want to play on because you feel like we're 30 points down. In the fourth quarter, these boys were rushing their decisions. We're rushing our decisions. It was ridiculous. Every time Richmond got the ball, you just felt like they were going to do something. It just reminded me of Carlton in opening round 1 when we had the ball against Brisbane It's just whenever we grabbed it, we felt like we were going to do something. Obviously, as a Carlton perspective, I don't know how many people know this, but our last 6 wins, we have not won more than 1 goal. Just sink that in. Our last 6 wins have not been more than 6 points. If we're a team that's want to be more dangerous and want to be serious about versing us in the finals, you got to put teams away like that. We had every right to put Richmond away on Thursday night, and we didn't. And I'm sorry, those umpires won us the game. I hate umpires, but on Thursday night, they gave us the game. They were so good to us that some of our free kicks should have not happened. Richmond should have walked out with that 4 points. They were the better team. We were just so lucky that we were gifted by the umpires. We rushed our decisions. I don't know what the hell Carlton were doing on Thursday night. Anyways, as I said, I've been waiting 3 days to say this rant. I finally said it. I'm upset. I'm furious. I just want North Melbourne to come. I just want Good Friday to come. Lucky there's a week off this week so I can relax and not get angry about Carlton. But as I said, look, we got the 4 points. We moved to 2-0. As I said, not a good performance. But anyways, that's my review of it. Yeah.
I loved it, man. Loved it.
Good review.
Good review, man. Good review. I was where was I? I think I was working that night and just listening to it on the radio. It was just like, what is going on? I couldn't. Yeah, it was hard to believe that Richmond, a team that's touted to finish bottom 3 this year, just put it to you guys. So, do you think did the loss of Sam Doherty? Did you feel that at all, or?
Yeah. Look. Obviously, Jack Carroll came in for Sam Doherty, which was obviously that's what was the change. What was going to happen because Jack Carroll played a good game on in the opening round in Gabba. But as I said, look, Jack Carroll did what he did. But as I said, I don't feel like Doherty's a loss for now. I don't see it. I see Jacob Wiedering a big loss out of all. Like our defense was just they were all over the place in the first half. They did not know what they were doing. As I said, I don't think Doherty was much of a loss as I thought he would be. I feel like Wiedering has been a loss to us more than Doherty has. But as I said, if you're going to win a premiership, you can't rely on your best players, right? You got to have depth. You got to have players that actually want to make their statement. You want them to come in and show us what they're all about, right? You're going to want them to fight for their spot, not just get gifted, right? So look, Jack Carroll, he's come in, he's done a couple of good stuff. I reckon he has earned his spot in the 22 for now. When Walsh comes back, that's a different story. There could be other players that get out before Carroll, and I wouldn't be surprised. But as I said, look, I feel like Doc's that whatever Doc knows, whatever Doc does, it's a great decision. I don't think Doc does a wrong decision in his life. And I just feel like it's only a couple players in Carlton that do that. Like, as an example, every time Adam Saad grabs the ball, he knows what to do with it, right? You give it to freaking Brody Kemp or Lewis Young, and they just kick the ball up in the air and praise for good luck. You know what I mean? And as I said, look, at the end of the day, I thought Harry Mackay had a really good game. I know you didn't watch it, Chris C, but Harry Mackay this year has just gone up another level. He's kicking straight. His hands are... They're marking everything. Harry Mackay's not doing anything wrong. And I'm usually he's the first one to blame when I come to reviewing Carlton, but I can't. He had
a better game than Curnow.
He did. Harry was our more dangerous forward than Charlie Curnow was.
Yep.
So as I said, look, at the end of the day, so I'm just trying to find, as I said, there's a stat, right? 26 free kicks to 16, right? 10 more free kicks, right? And we only won by 5 points. As I said, don't know what's happening at Carlton. You go from one of our best performances to one of our worst performances. It's going to be a long year for Carlton fans. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again. But I just hope they can fix things up. And, hopefully this bye this week can help us prepare for North Melbourne on Good Friday. And, that's my wrap from Thursday night.
Now, on the way home today, I was listening to the guy on, he speaks on the SCN. He's the champion data guy. And he was talking about Carlton, and he was like, what they're doing now, what they weren't doing last year, is they're getting goals from the back half. And that's what Collingwood were doing the best last year. That's what Brisbane were doing. And that he reckons that that's the formula how to win a premiership. So they're doing everything right. They just weren't good in the contest. That's what we're saying. Like they didn't get down and dirty enough against Richmond. So I don't think that's a problem because you've got those players that can get down and dirty and find the ball. So if you guys can get back to that level, I think winning will come, man. So I don't think Carlton is. I don't think you got much to worry about. But look, every game's different, and but judging by champion data, if you look at that, they're tracking really well. So but
no, look, obviously our gameplay is there, and I can see there's a difference from last year, right? I was going home and I heard a Richmond fan say that Carlton this year is Collingwood last year. The way they move the ball from the back line to the forward line. And I could see that. I could see that's a new thing that Carlton's doing this year, what we weren't doing last year. And sometimes it's working. Sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. But that's something we got to get used to in training, which is fair enough. As I said, there's players that know their role, but they're not doing it. Right? Yeah. They're maybe doing it once a week, and then the next week they're not doing it. There's some players that are just standing out every single week. Obviously, look, it's still early. It's only 2 games in the year. Footy's just back. So I can't be too harsh on my boys. I love them at the end of the day. I'll always be a big Carlton supporter. I'll always travel with them. But as I said, just what I saw on Thursday night was not acceptable for me, and I did not give it a pass mark. But maybe I was thinking that Richmond was obviously not that good, and I was demanding them to be way worse than what they were on Thursday night. But as I said, look, full credit to Richmond. As much as I hate them, full credit, they were in the game and we did not put them away. And I reckon they were the better team on Thursday night. So
I've got a stat here. The King of the North will love this one. I'll bring it up. It says Carlton's past 6 wins. Okay, so from round 22, 4 points against Melbourne, 4 points round 23 against Gold Coast, against the Swans, 6 points, against Melbourne in the semi-final, 2 points, then Brisbane last week, 1 point, and then obviously the Richmond game, 5 points. That's the last 6 games. So they've turned into Collingwood, mate. That's Collingwood right there.
Look, winning close games is important. There's going to be more close games in the future, in the season. There's going to be more close games. As I said, Collingwood did it. They held on last year in the close games. This is what Carlton's doing too. But I need to see Carlton put a team away. If we're going to play finals, I need to see Carlton put a team away. Richmond was a good example. It's early in the season. Look, North Melbourne in 2 weeks, if we do not beat them by more than 3 goals, I don't give it a pass mark. I need Carlton to beat North Melbourne by more than 20 points. And it has to happen.
Yep. Well, they looked all right, actually. They didn't look too bad in North Melbourne, but we'll get to them. But anyway, that was an awesome rant. King of the North, since you're the Carlton guy, I know you got some stats probably for us. What do you reckon?
You've got to. I guess you've got to. It's a big game as well. So first game of the season, MCG, Richmond Carlton. Last year I was there, 88,000. This year there's 82,000. So it's a big occasion for both sides. And Richmond want to come out, turn up to play. So we were expecting, as Carlton supporters, for just Carlton to come out and smash them, and obviously Richmond had other ideas. Cripps played well, like Cripps with 31 disposals, McGovern with 28 disposals. He was really good. Harry, I'm really happy that Harry's form continues. He's kicking straight. He kicked 3 goals. So, and he was like you say, John, he's the leading forward for Carlton at the moment. He's doing really well. Kernay kicks 2, but these guys have got to be kicking, like Kernay's got to be kicking 4 goals, and Harry's got to be kicking 3, and that's what's got to be expected of Carlton to be able to put the sides away, don't they? So like they're coming out of the back really well, and the little forwards are kicking some goals as well, which is good. That's good. So like you've got like Owies as well kicking 2, and it's just these 2 big guys have got to be kicking a bag of goals to be being up there and being contenders. Yep. Probably the best for Richmond was Bolter. He kicked 3 goals and 23 disposals, and Martin and Lynch kicked 2 goals. So they were really good. Hopper was good, 25 disposals, but yeah, it should have been better, but I think Richmond, like with those 3 ins, they came to play, and it's like that game's a massive occasion for both teams.
Yeah. Every time. Sorry, Johnny, go.
With that, look, I agree with King of the North. So Harry's a Coleman medalist. Charlie's a 2-time Coleman medalist, right? They're Coleman medalists. They were playing on those two, their opponents has a total of 20 games. 20 games.
Exactly.
One player has played 17 games last year, and the other has only played 3. And you're only kicking 2 goals and 3 goals when Ben King last week kicked 6 on 1 guy.
Yeah.
We had so many inside 50s. We had so many opportunities, and just Charlie and Harry just couldn't put it together. Obviously, Harry played a really good game down the game as well. He was coming up the ground. He was marking it. That as well. But if you're a Coleman medalist and you're playing on a guy that's only played 3 games, is 2 goals really a pass mark? Is 2 goals really a pass mark? I don't know. For me, it's not. But
hey, man, you think that's bad? You asked me and Bruno about Port Adelaide later about goals, man. All right.
Absolutely.
The King Dreamer goes, I understand why you guys thought you were going to smash Richmond, especially after the Gold Coast game, but I think you can't really judge us for the Suns game. Dimmer coached our guys for a long time. So there you go. Maybe the King Dreamer's fine. We've got another King in the chat. There you go.
Beauty.
Bruno, quickly, what did you think of the game if you watched it? And what do you see Carlton, mate?
Well, this isn't one I watched a whole lot of. I did get to see bits and pieces, and I was mainly surprised at the fact that this wasn't an absolute drubbing. I really did also think that Carlton were going to win pretty convincingly. I think there's obviously some positives to take out of it. Harry Mackay being a big one. Fantasia, he had a bit more of a typical Fantasia performance, I think. No disrespect to him, but there's players around that perhaps aren't quite always pulling their weight, and I do have to wonder. I mean, it's a 5-point margin, specifically 5 behinds. I would want to hope that, for Carlton's sake at least, that the accuracy can be a bit straighter, I suppose, because in a game like this against weaker opposition, you do really want to be making sure these opportunities count. If you can get 5 more scores on the board, that could be a 30-point win. So, but obviously not getting to see a whole lot of the game. I don't know too much of the intricacies of what sort of didn't go as well as Carlton would have liked, but I do think that it was perhaps a bit of an underestimation in terms of what they did, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, well, Carlton, they got, as you say, got a bye this week so they can reset. So hopefully they reset and come out firing, especially for Johnny Carlton, because we don't want to see another rant, do we? No, we love the rant. We love it.
We do. We love the rant.
What a happy rant, I think.
Everyone loves Johnny Carlton being angry. It's one of the.
Oh, I can't believe you said last week no one can go with the football with you because like you just it's full on.
Look, shout out to my mate who's come for the last 5 years. I don't know how he does it. I would have walked out first minute. So,
there was a funny comment before we go on. It was from where was it? I think it was the moment said it. I can't find it, but he said something like, "Johnny, stop eating your overpriced chips so loudly, brother." At the game. Jeez. All right. Well, good luck. Yeah, as I said, good rant. Loved it. Can't wait for the bold call of the week. So, all right, next game, guys. We'll go straight into it. Collingwood versus Sydney was the Friday night game. 10 goals, 969 to 15-12, 102. The Collie Wobbles are back. The Collie Wobbles. That's what I'm calling it. The Collie Wobbles. 0-2. Who would have thought after they win the premiership? 0-2. Yeah. Sydney moved the ball so good. Like the way I watched them move the ball, probably as good, if not better, than GWS. I reckon. Like that night, they were on fire. There was one guy that stood out for me. That was Chad Warner, 27 disposals, 7 clearances, 3 goals. I thought he was the best on ground, and yeah, really, really good player. Johnny Carlton, what do you think, man, of this one?
Yeah, look, there was a bit of hype going into the game. Collingwood unrevealing their flag after last year's premiership win. Hate to say it, but they did. Look, yeah, I thought that was their comeback game after what they did against GWS in round 0. But yeah, no, they just don't look what they did in 2023, and the cracks are showing. And Sydney, look, full credit to Sydney. They came to Melbourne. Grundy went up against his former team, and Sydney just looked like the better team. Like the first half, obviously you got the likes of Dacos being a star. Dacos was really good again this week. As I said, it was a very, very high intense game in the first half, and then look. I'm not going to lie, the second half, I was more interested in talking WWE to you than watching that game. The game in the second half was boring to me. I just wasn't paying attention. It was just all Sydney. Collingwood just didn't do anything. Yeah. And look, I'm sorry to say it, but it's like with McStay going down early, like late last year in November, they don't have a tall forward option. Look, you guess you can say Myercheck is their tallest option, but when you come to tall full forwards, he's not that tall compared to a Larky or a Hogan or a Charlie or a Tex. You know what I mean? Like he's that what would you say, like that third tall forward option, I feel like. And yeah, it's just, as I said, there's issues in that Collingwood forward line, and they thought Lockie Schutz from Fremantle was going to solve it, but it's just, yeah, they just can't do anything at the moment, Collingwood. And it's, yeah, look, the cracks are showing, and full credit to Sydney. Logan McDonald stepped up, Tom Papley, Isaac Heaney, those type of players stepped up. Sydney actually have a proper ruckman now. Their midfield just looks like a different ball game with Grundy in there,
doesn't it?
And actual ruckman that will play nearly every game if he's fit. So, as I said, yeah, look, Sydney came and they proved that they were the better team, and they also go 2-0 as well. So, yeah, good start for Sydney in 2024. And they look like they're going to be a real deal this year. So, yeah, and look, I get it. It's only early, but if Collingwood want to show why they were the premiership team, they got to start somewhere. And I feel like this week has to be their week. It has to be a win for Collingwood this week, or else there might be pressure coming into it now. And, yeah, so... yeah, full credit to Sydney. They won it fair. As I said, they didn't win by 3 goals. They put that game to bed by the end of the third quarter. So, full credit to Sydney.
Well, they're coming up against a team that just lost to Geelong next week. So it's going to be an interesting game. If they lose against the Saints, then yeah, it's going to be alarm bells. I think a little bit of alarm bells. I would if I was a supporter, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. Bruno, we know that you are a Collingwood. Used to be a Collingwood man.
Collingwood sympathiser these days.
Yeah. What is your take like on Collingwood? Like, what do you think? Like, are they in trouble or?
Well, I think this is a little bit more worrisome than last week's loss for them, I would say. That being said, though, they've come up against two teams that are good chances at a top four finish this year. So I personally still not overly worried for them. This might be a worry come the end of the season, and I'm not sure if these are teams that they have to play again. GWS and Sydney. If this is their only match against them, well, they've gotten through matches against two of the better teams in the comp. So I think it wasn't a great performance from them. Sydney just seemed to be a class above on the night.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Sydney led by as much as 54, I think was their highest lead of the game, some point in the last quarter. But just in the bigger picture, not super worried for them, but definitely a lot of things to worry about. And I think, yeah, their forward structure and not necessarily having a great option up there would be one of the bigger issues. You have to wonder maybe, I don't know if Jaden Stevenson would be extremely helpful right now, but they have had the talent. He was obviously very promising in his time at Collingwood, but unfortunately things don't always go the way you want them to, and possibly it's a bit of a premiership hangover. Perhaps the players are they've done it, so the hunger isn't there so much anymore, but I think we'll get a better idea of how good they're going to be later into the year, I think.
Yeah, and also the defense and the forward line just, yeah, as Johnny was saying about how McStay was like, you know, that tall down in the forward line, like him not being there. They've only got Mycheck really, and he's not he's a good forward, but he's not like a tall marking forward. So like, you know, you got Carlton, you got Kerner, you got Mackay. So, you know, they've got those options there where Collingwood just don't seem to have many options going forward. So, and down back, I mean, you know, they're looking okay down there, but still they're not as tall. What's his name still there? The guy that was injured in the grand final, is he playing? What was his name?
Murphy, who got injured in the grand final?
Yeah, is he playing? Was he playing?
Remember, to be honest. Well,
Johnny,
I've seen a lot of people saying he should retire.
No, he wasn't playing.
Yeah, so you see, missing him is huge, like, because he's a big defender. So I don't know, man, Collingwood, but yeah, Sydney looked great. Sydney looked good, as Johnny said. The way they move the ball, and as I said, with the addition of the ruckman, yeah, it just makes them look like a $1 million team. Like, they're going to be hard to beat. King of the North, give some stats, man.
Give you some stats. Well, Sydney just working hard like a team, very fast. Pressure's good. Collingwood just don't seem to be connected, not connected, and they don't have the flow that they had last year. As you say, missing McStay in the middle, but the way they used the corridor last year compared to this game, and how Sydney was able to break down the run through the corridor as well, was just like outstanding, and just Sydney just turning around and coming straight back into the 50. They've also got like a second game player as well through there, so that's a bit of a problem as well for Collingwood. So, but Heaney was outstanding, 29 disposals. McDonald with 4 goals, Warner with 3 goals, Heaney with 2 goals, but 9 players in Sydney kick goals. So that's just like, for that many players to be able to be kicking goals, that's just outstanding for a team. And they're just to be able to work that way. Dacos, just unbelievable figures. He 37 disposals, 6 marks, 17 kicks and a goal. You know, that's just amazing, isn't he? Just every single week, he just does ridiculous figures like that. And Pendlebury and Maynard 26 and 22. But yeah, Sydney just the goods. My mate Charlie's at work. He's a South Melbourne supporter. He's wrapped. So he was very quietly excited, but doesn't want to get too excited. So yeah, they're going okay.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that is Collingwood Sydney. All right. So quick hello, Don't At Me. How are you, buddy? He was giving me shit in the Discord before, but how are you, man? All right. So the next game was the Bombers versus the Hawks. This was on Saturday, early Saturday, Arvo, 17-5, 107 to 11-17-83. They got the chocolates. The Bombers, looks like the Hawks kicked a lot of behinds. But it was a close game apparently. And there was a bit of a... Yeah, there was something happened with Sicily. I don't know if you guys saw it. He kicked Andrew McGrath. It was like the littlest kick, but he went to the tribunal tonight and he did get off with a $2,500 fine. Guys, Johnny Carlton in particular, did you watch this one?
I did. Look, this was a fun game to watch actually. Two brand new teams starting their season. Look, as we're talking about Collingwood, I think I know why Collingwood left. I think Jack Ginnivan was Collingwood's spark all along. Mate, that guy was everywhere in the first quarter. He had 13 disposals and a goal 2 minutes in the second quarter.
Wow.
He was everywhere. I was like, he was better than the whole Collingwood team put together in the first three quarters.
Wow.
It was just crazy. He was everywhere. Now, as I said, look, a lot brand new debutants, new recruits, fun game to watch. Round one, both teams are going to be everywhere. Look, they both came out firing. It was a close game. Wait until the end. Essendon ran away with the win. Look, it was just a fun game to watch. Obviously, Ben Mackay looks really good down back for the Bombers. Xavier Dersma didn't really have much of an impact, which was a bit depressing. Jay Gresham was really good, added some spark down on the forward line. You go to Hawthorn, Jack Ginnivan is now sparking that forward line. He was, as I said, he was everywhere. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls a Brownlow vote. As I said, James Warple was really good in the midfield. Jai Newcomb was a bit okay. Didn't stand up to Jai Newcomb's standards. The Wizard, we didn't get to see much of the Wizard, unfortunately. He scored 3 behind, so he was obviously maybe first game. He was nervous. Chol was really good for Hawthorn. Kicked straight. He got subbed off, unfortunately. Tactical sub, which that could have been the difference. As I said, it was Goldstein as well for Essendon. As I said, age is just a number in the AFL, apparently. He was really good as well. So, look, very, very good game, very fun game to watch. It's just a bit annoying how Essendon fans already think they're going to make top 8 and they're carrying away with 1 win only and they think they're the best team in the AFL. Like, they just beat Hawthorn, so relax. But just relax. But as I said, look, if Hawthorn kicked straight, it would have been a closer game. But Essendon ran away with the win, and good fun game to watch.
Yeah. All right. So it looked like Hawthorn were missing a lot of shots as well. So I mean, if they converted, maybe it could have been a different story. But Bruno, did you watch this one?
So I unfortunately had work while this game was happening, so I didn't get to see it. But I mean, I'm looking at the scores. I think the inaccuracy is not great for the Hawks. I mean, it seems obvious to just say, oh, you'd want to kick straighter because every team wants to kick straighter, which is a given. But to kick 11 goals, 17, you'd be left with a pretty bitter taste in your mouth when your opponents have kicked 17-5 to beat you. But, I mean, there were still positives for the Hawks who I mean, both teams brought in their recruits, and you'd want to be doing well against Essendon, who's in a similar spot on the ladder, similar strategy over the off season, stuff of the sort.
Yeah.
But I mean, individually, Massimo D'Ambrosio had a great game with 29 touches, and I think he had about 10 or 11 intercept possessions for the game. So he really made his mark against his old side, and players like Ginnivan and on Essendon's side Goldstein, just showing how valuable they're going to be to the team across the span of this year, which should be quite exciting for both teams' fans, even if these are players that some of them, the younger ones, will only get better in the future. And so that should be very exciting for fans of Hawthorn and Essendon, regardless of the result.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. And I got that guy, you said, what's his name again? D'Ambrosio. Yeah. I got him in my, put him in my super coach team today. So
played really well. Really well.
King of the North.
Jeez, I've got him in my stats as well, so fancy that. So, but good to see a bit of Biff as well. So there was someone who copped a punch in the mouth as well. So that was you don't see that very often these days. So that was good to see. I don't know whether did he get a week for that for the punch or
yeah,
not?
He did.
He did.
Yeah, he got it.
So for the Hawks, like also they had 3 big outs as well. So 3 players got injured before the game as well. So one, I think it was a knee and a hammy or something or other. So they lost three good players before they started anyway. So for how they went, I guess they went pretty good. But yeah, I've got Ambrosia as the standout, and then you got Moore with 3 goals, Ginnivan with 2, and Chol. Like you guys have all mentioned these guys. So yeah, just really good for Hawks, and then Essendon, McGrath with 33 disposals, Merritt with 31 disposals, Stringer kicks 4 goals, and Langford kicks 3 goals. So yeah, pretty good all around. But Essendon, yeah, the fans think they're going to win the comp, don't they? So after the game, they were just loving it. So my mates at work, who's a diehard Essendon supporter, he's doesn't want to get too excited because he knows how he can be crushed within a couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, they were a bit lippy over the weekend, the Bombers fans.
Oh, so. They do, yeah. So, good on the Bombers for getting the win. I didn't tip them. I've stuck with the Hawks, but I didn't know that they're going to have 3 injuries. But anyway, there you go.
I, at the moment, just wants to know, did Nick Watson play, and did he show anything?
Yeah, so the Wizard did play. He had 3 behinds, so he was a bit nervous, the young kid, but no, look, good signs. He looks very creative in that forward line. He's going to be a star in the future. So yeah, no, as I said, first game 3 behinds. Hopefully he can get his first goal next week. So yeah, no, Wizard, someone to watch out for in the future. So
well, there we go, guys. Essendon and Hawthorn. All right, next game. GWS versus North Melbourne. This one was pretty straightforward, but the Kangaroos did put up a good fight. 7-19, 121 to 13-4, 82. I did watch some of these highlights. I didn't watch the game, I just saw some of the highlights. And GWS were great, but Kangaroos showed a lot of fight and surprised a lot of people. They didn't get blown off, but apparently, the 40-point margin is not it's not a real indication of how the game actually went. So, but look, it's good to see North Melbourne, doing well. Just a quick mention: 6 goals to Jesse Hogan, so he had a day out, kicked the bag. So, really good to see, guys. Johnny, Carlton, what do you reckon, man? Did you watch this one?
Yeah, I watched this one straight after the Essendon Hawthorn game. As I said, for stars, talking about stars, North Melbourne have 2 special gems in their team, Colby McKercher and Zane Dersma. So talking about the better Dersma than Xavier Dersma. So yeah, look, Zane Dersma first game was very accurate, kicked 2 goals. Look, North was really good. They they showed some fight. They were in the contest. They to about 3/4 time. GWS, look, they didn't expect that coming. So yeah, no, as I said, Nick Larkey was good against Taylor. As I said, just Zach Fisher looked good in his first game, former Blue. As I said, look, they're a young team, North Melbourne. It's going to take some time. They've got a good coach. They looked good, and as I said, the focus out of that, and I'm like, Carlton have North Melbourne in 2 weeks. I'm not confident as I was a couple of days ago. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, to go to Giant Stadium and actually give him a test for 3 quarters was really good by North Melbourne. If you're a North Melbourne fan, you should be happy. As I said, look, LDU's a star. He played his role. Obviously, new positions, new players. So yeah, as I said, North Melbourne they showed some fight, which was good. So yeah, obviously Geelong was not Geelong. Sorry, Giants are too strong. Their home ground. So yeah, look, as I said, Jesse Hogan, obviously on a debutant, kicked 6 goals. So expected, like a full forward, like what Charlie Curnow should have done. But anyways, here we are. But yeah, as I said, no, Giants got the W. They're 2-0 as well, and yeah, North Melbourne should be happy about that performance. So,
Bruno,
yeah.
any words on that one?
Yeah, this was. I did keep an eye on this one during the day, and I think North were flattered a little bit by their accuracy. 13 goals for, very good conversion rate. But one of the team stats that I wanted to point out. So obviously inside 50s, Giants had a few more, 60 to 46. But crucially, and I think this is bound to happen, losing Ben Mackay over the off season, is Giants took 25 marks inside 50, whereas North Melbourne only took 9. So this is really one where the Giants were just far stronger matchup on both ends, forward and defensively, and also in the midfield. I mean, I think Sam Taylor was it Sam Taylor with 37 touches, or am I misremembering perhaps?
Tom Green.
Oh, Tom Green was the one. There we are. Yeah, yes, that's right. Yeah, he had 37 touches. So just a stronger team across all lines is bound to happen, and could have been a lot more. But good on the forwards. Riccardi kicked a few. Hogan kicked 6, which is always nice. And yeah, I just think this was perhaps could have been a far more comprehensive victory, but nonetheless gives the Giants room to improve over the course of the season, I think.
Yeah, 100%. King of the North?
Yeah, GWS just showing they're the goods, and yeah, they're going to be up and about and top 4. Just an outstanding side all round. As you said, Hogan with 6, and then Riccardi with 3. And as you say, John, it's 9 goals that the forwards kick. Like they kick 9 goals compared to us, like kicking 5. So that makes a massive difference. So, and then you got Cadman, Brown, and Kelly. They both kick 2. So all around they're just accurate on goal, and their forwards are putting the goals on the board. So, but North Melbourne, like Larkey with 3 goals, Sheasel with 32 disposals, really outstanding. Duzma, Stevens, and Curtis with 2 goals. So yeah, it was a really good game of footy, and for North Melbourne to be kicking that score is a really good sign for them, and they're going to knock over a few teams that don't turn up to play.
Yeah, I agree. I think North Melbourne are definitely on the improve, and GWS are, I don't know, right now they're the benchmark. Them and Sydney, those 2 teams. So, all right, that brings us to Saturday night. Now, the King, Johnny Carlton, we did a watch along, sort of for this game, but we watched the ending anyway. But this game was a good finish and could have gone either way, but it was the Geelong Cats versus St Kilda. So Geelong 10-16, 76 to St Kilda 9-14, 68. Geelong celebrated Gel Selwood stand as well. So they opened up the whole stand and the whole arena looked amazing. Another, is it 16,000 seats or something like that? Yeah. So yeah, it was a packed house for their first unveiling of the stadium, and what a better way to go out than to win a close one against the Saints. Yeah, I was listening to the radio again because I always listen to things. So I didn't watch this one as closely. And they reckon that Geelong is playing very similar, like the way they're structured, the way they're moving the ball, the way that Collingwood were playing last year. So a lot of teams are replicating what Collingwood were doing last year from scoring from the back half. So yeah, apparently Geelong were doing that really well, and obviously got them the win. So St Kilda didn't really read into what they did or what they didn't do. I just think they're more of a rule. Ross Lyon's a very defensive kind of coach. So I think Chris Scott said in the press conference that it's annoying when we get to play them because they're an annoying team. Obviously because they're very defensive. So yeah, look, it was a good game. We watched the ending. What was it? Was it 5 points? Was it? Can't remember. Let's have a look.
8, I'm pretty sure.
8 points, yeah. So 8 points. It was 1 point at one stage, and then Dangerfield got the mark and sealed the goal. But Johnny Carlton, we did watch this. What do you think, man? Is Geelong a team to be feared again?
Yeah, look, as I said, we were on the watch along, so I didn't watch most of it. I was watching more focus on the Gold Coast Adelaide game. But look, this game was a bit of a weird one. I don't know. So for some of you, if you didn't know, so Saturday night was a bit warm in Melbourne. The weekend was warm in Melbourne, so it was actually really, really perfect weather for Saturday night football. As I said, 30 behinds equal for both teams. Like they did not have their kicking shoes on in Geelong. So as I said, yeah, look, obviously 2 new teams that we saw in round 1 as well. As I said, it's just Geelong just getting the win. Obviously they're celebrating the Joel Selwood stand, as you said. Stadium looks good. Not going to get really detailed into this game because I didn't watch it much. But yeah, look, I just feel like these 2 teams are just going to be between that 9th to 13th mark on the ladder. I just don't see them making the top 8. These 2 teams, they're up and down, these 2 teams. So to your question, is Geelong a team I should be worried about? I don't think so. I just think it was the occasion. They didn't put St Kilda away, as I said. Some of their players, they don't look as good as what they did. Obviously, Hawkins is getting a bit older. He doesn't look like that type of forward that he was. As I said, it's just, there was just a weird game. I don't know how to describe it. It's just both teams missing a lot of goals. This game should have been a very high-scoring game, to be honest. But, as I said, Geelong St Kilda, obviously the better team won, which was Geelong. So, we'll see how they go in round 2. But, not scared about Geelong at all, to be honest. So,
Bruno, how about you, man? You scared of Geelong? Oh, I can't hear you, man.
Sorry, I had the mic muted. I'm scared of Geelong for several reasons. I've been there to watch a cricket game nonetheless, but they're fans. And all the public money they get to build that stadium, which that's not my place to judge, I suppose. But I think, I'm always a little bit scared of Geelong, also because of 2007 and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
And I perhaps overrate them in my mind. But these middle of the pack teams like the St Kildas, Geelongs, Bulldogs, I really struggle to get a read on them. They bring out their best and they're up there with the best teams in the comp. Sometimes they dish out, horrible footy. But without getting to watch this match too much, I would like to think that perhaps maybe Geelong are on the way down, but I mean, they pulled a win against a side that's around that should be around them across the course of this season. So maybe they're back to being the real deal to some extent and could challenge for finals, but that's something we'll find out. There were a few things of note about this match, I suppose. I mean, Riley Bonner playing his first game for St Kilda is always nice. I mean, I like to see our ex-players prosper, provided they're leaving on good terms with the club. And I'm glad he took his opportunity. 28 touches on the day. What else was there about this one? And Geelong, where is he? I want to see something. Trying to see Sean Manners' stats, but I'm trouble finding him on here. Did he get up to much? Because I was hoping he'd play well. No, only the 5 touches for my man Sean Manor. So, but this was, at least from what I can see, looked to be a good game. But yeah, I don't know too much about him either of these sides.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Well, I at the moment reckons tough outing, very much a coaching tussle. Johnny talking out of his ass here. Both Cats and Saints will take big scalps this season. Now, this is coming from a Geelong supporter. So me and I at the moment never see eye to eye. But look, he can, I mean, that's an opinion and everyone's entitled. But,
they're certainly capable of that, I think, over the course of this year. They're very strong. Like, they have some elite players in this competition, Geelong. And as such, when they're fit and firing, they're definitely up there with the best teams in the comp. It'll just be a matter as their list has turned over in the years since the 2022 flag. Bound to slide a bit, but I think they can still mix it with the best this year, definitely.
Yeah, I think.
Look,
so too.
I love teams proving me wrong. I love it. I adore it. I hope they prove me wrong. I want them to prove me wrong. So yeah, look, if Geelong and St Kilda make the top 8, I'll say what I say. I'm in the wrong. So just prove it to me, and then we'll come talk in September. So
no worries. King of the North, what's your take on this game, man? Any thoughts?
Yeah, it was a good battle between the two. And going to Geelong, you don't expect teams to beat Geelong at Geelong. So it was good. The stadium looks sensational with the new Joel Selwyn stand. So it looks like a really outstanding stadium now. What do we got? Dempsey got for Geelong 3 goals. Holmes had a good game with 23 disposals, and Dangerfield was great with his final kick and 25 disposals. And for St Kilda, Membrey got 3 goals. Steele was good with 25 disposals, and King and Wilson got 2 goals. So, it was just if you remember back last year, St Kilda started the season really well as well and won a few games, and it was really unexpected that Ross Lyon had got them going so well at the beginning of the season. And it looks like they're just going again. So I think, especially at Marvel, they play really well at Marvel. So I think they'll get a few wins at Marvel against some good sides.
If they beat Collingwood this week, it'll be interesting. But look, we'll move on. Now, the next game is the one we did watch. Gold Coast versus my arch nemesis, the Crows. It was a 8-12-60 to 8-6-54 in the wet. It's a very low scoring game. Gold Coast, they were the better team. For most of the night, majority of the night. But that last quarter, Crows did hit back and put a lot of scoreboard pressure on Gold Coast and nearly actually pinched it at the end. We got a bit excited, didn't we, Johnny? We're like, I was getting upset because I didn't want to see the Crows to win, but no, it was good to see a close game, I guess. And the likes of Rochelle and Rankin, they lit up Metricon or whatever it's called now. But they weren't very convincing in those first 3 quarters. And Cornsey says, I thought they were very poor. They weren't there with the mindset of really getting their knees dirty like the Gold Coast midfielders did. That's the reason they lost this game of footy. Johnny Carlton, do you? Ooh, sorry about that. Johnny Carlton, do you agree with Quanzi?
Nah, no. Look, everything was happening this night. Chris was previewing a game that he thought would start in 10 minutes, but it started in 16 hours.
Oh, that was
So
a classic.
that was a great start. So, yeah, look, everything was happening on Saturday night
It
at
was.
HFD Media.
It was.
Obviously, game, look, take away, I'm sorry to Adelaide supporters, but this game was very boring in the first half. Me, Chris, and King in the North, we were talking about other things. We weren't really focusing about the game. Yeah, look, Gold Coast came out, and yeah, look, they were on top from the start. Adelaide was struggling to get inside their forward 50. All their fans saying Tex Walker was a big out, which he is. Obviously, he's a big out, but Tex Walker's a forward line. He doesn't make the ball get into the forward line. You need your midfielders and your back line to step up and get it into that forward line. And the ball just wasn't going in there. So yeah, look, Gold Coast was really good. In the first three quarters, Rao was impressive. Anderson, Miller, they were there. Very low scoring game, wet weather, and then yeah, late in the third quarter, Adelaide showed some fight. That's where they needed to. Rankin, Shelley, those type of guys stood up to the plate and made the game more interesting. We said it last week, right? If Gold Coast are a serious team, you cannot let teams come back into games. They did it against Richmond, and they've done it now against Adelaide. As I said, you were up by nearly more than 40 points. And look, Adelaide tried to do a Carlton, and they nearly did. I reckon if Adelaide had a minute left on the clock, they would have won that game. If they had one more minute on that clock. So, yeah, they nearly did a Carlton and come back and win. So, yeah, no, look, full credit to Adelaide fighting that last quarter. As I said, play stood up that they needed to. Led was good in the last quarter. Rochelle and Rankin had very good impact. In the fourth, they lighted up the crowd. They lighted up the team. As I said, look, if Adelaide were maybe there from the third quarter, the game would have been different. But as I said, very low-scoring game. Was boring in the first half. Wet weather. Not much of a crowd was there too. No one likes to go to Metricon. It's just boring. But yeah, as I said, look, Gold Coast scrape away with a win that they should have won by more. And full credit to Adelaide for fighting back. So, yeah.
Bruno, did you watch this one?
I did see, particularly towards the end of this one, and I am someone who likes to remain diplomatic about our crosstown rivals. But wow, I'm possibly really annoyed because I tipped them and I thought maybe this will work, but the Crows might perhaps be the most fraudulent team in the AFL. Big call. The big call. But here's the thing, every year since 2017, I've heard, is this the year the Crows finish higher than Port? Not a chance. Not a chance. And what I'll say is, this match, no Taylor Walker, but the conditions were not key forward conditions. So his loss is almost completely negligible. It's not really a factor here. And mind you, this is a Taylor Walker, same guy who 2020 when they won the Wooden Spoon, I think he won their leading goal kicking less than a goal a game, and he said that he had considered retirement around that point. I think possibly the next year if things had kept going down that road. Now, where are they in the post Taylor Walker world? Frankly, I don't think Fogarty is that good of a key forward. But again, this wasn't a game for key forwards. This was a game where low scoring, so each goal means a lot. Conversely, that means it takes less goals to get back in front because Gold Coast weren't scoring a heap. Realistically, though, you can't just turn up for 1/8 of the game. You got to be there for even just a little bit more than that. Even turn up for a quarter. And now I'm in full agreement that this Crows team is not very good. won't finish higher than us, and I don't think they'll make finals either, is my take on them.
I reckon-
And I'm just really annoyed I tipped them. And I'm also annoyed that they let Gold Coast win because I don't like Gold Coast either. I got the Coburg hat on, but I'm pretty big on all the VFL standalones. Werribee is my other VFL team. And Gold Coast beat Werribee in the VFL Grand Final. So I didn't want them to win either. I thought maybe the Crows can pull through for me just one time. No, couldn't do it. So back on the hate train, I think.
You've made someone upset, and he doesn't even like football. he doesn't even like football, and he wants to come on. That's how upset you've made the Crows supporters.
I'm happy if we mess up someone's tipping this week. By all means, dish it into Port because I would do the same if Port put up what the Crows did this week. By all means, go for it. But maybe I just shouldn't have tipped Adelaide, and I'd be very content with the result. But they let me down.
Look! Like if it wasn't for that comeback at the end, it would have been a bad performance because they looked really bad. That's 3 quarters. They look really bad. And I was thinking, without Tex up forward, I think because last year like they struggled without Tex. I remember there was one game in particular where they went down to Ballarat and played the Bulldogs, and they took Tex out and they just got wiped. So I'm not sure how much influence Tex has and how much longer he has, but we're going to see this week when they play against Geelong on Friday night, because he's going to be back in the team, how worthy he is to them. So, yeah, it wasn't good signs, but look, for them to come back like that, at least they've got a bit of fight. So, if you're a Crows supporter,
there is that positive, I suppose, for them.
Yeah, that's right. So, but look, you have upset a few resident Adelaide Crows in the chat. One guy goes, "I'm recording this for when the Crows win the premiership." Now, Dan is a very over optimist when you talk about the Crows. They can't do nothing wrong in his eyes, so that's normal. So it's round 1. Yeah, that's right. It's only round 1, so we'll see what. It's a long season. Proof will be in the pudding, especially this Friday night. King of the North, are you going to go whack like Bruno did or what?
Outstanding analysis from Bruno. That's all I can say. Now, I tipped him also because of John Crom. I felt sorry for him, and I'm not going to tip Adelaide again after this. All year last year, I was trying to get him over the line for Johnny, but I'm done. So that performance on the weekend, I know it was raining. I know that they just didn't look any bit not one bit improved on last year. It was the same crap that they dished out last year when they played away from home. So yeah, I'm not tipping them again. So yeah. Anyway, there we go. But yeah, good on you, Bruno. So
thank you.
But yeah, for the Gold Coast, Roses and Ainsworth 2 goals, and Miller was outstanding with 20 disposals, 29 marks, and 9 kicks. Rochelle was good for the Crows. Keys and Rankin with 2 goals, and Crouch with 33 disposals. So you can't, if you play crap for 3 quarters, then try and win with 5 minutes to go. It's just a shocker. So they've got to do better. Do better, the Crows.
Where's your mate Flanders?
Oh,
Matt?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sam.
He had a good game.
He did have a good game. Yeah, I
mentioned
him I mentioned Sam in the when I was doing the stats. I said he's going great, and I forgot to put him in this time. Bloody hell! I see Miller's stats, and I thought I'll give Miller a bloody kudos this week. But Sam will be back next week. Don't worry. But Sam did really well. His disposals by 3/4 time were just really going good. So yeah, good on you, Sam. I'll give you a shout out. But yeah, we'll give Miller the kudos this week.
Oh, KP, don't do that, man. Don't do that, KP. I didn't say anything wrong. You could have blamed Bruno, not me. No, I'm just joking, Bruno. Don't worry, man. They just love to stir.
I know.
Love to
Absolutely.
stare.
I'm
It's all
fully on
banter.
board with that.
All right. Enough about the Crows because it's making me sick. All right. So. I wish if Johnny Crum was here, if it was any other night, yeah, we would have given him a lot of shit. But yeah, we'll leave him alone for now. But anyway, next game Sunday. So we've got 3 games left. The Demons faced the Bulldogs. It was 16-13, 109 to 9-10-64. Oh man, I didn't watch this one because I was getting ready to go to the Port game, but I heard that Melbourne were just clinical against the Bulldogs. Is that correct, Johnny Carlton?
Oh, look, I'm surprised you didn't watch it. You were very excited about this game. You previewed it 16 hours before it actually happened, so I thought you would have watched it.
Look, man. Oh, geez.
Yeah, no, look. Yeah, look, it is for previewing that early, that was a very boring game to watch. I can be honest with that. Yeah, look, now, as I said, Bulldogs is like St Kilda Geelong category. They're just a team that is just going to be up there, then they're just going to be down there the next week. It's just you just can't predict the Bulldogs. I said, yeah, no, look, Melbourne. That's the Melbourne we wanted to see. That's the Melbourne I needed to see last Friday night against the Swans. You know what I mean? That's the Melbourne. That's the Oliver. That's the Petrarca. That's the Gorn you need to see. You know what I mean? Like, it's just... They made me lose the tip for no reason, Melbourne. The clowns. They go up to Sydney and they play like that, and then they come here and they become their real team. Like, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, no, obviously... I put them in my top 4 this year, and yeah, look, Oliver returned back to his form. Happy for him. I know he's had a lot of off-field issues, so good to see him smiling again and enjoying his footy. Petrarca did what he did. He didn't focus on his cooking videos this week as much as he did last week, so that's good to know. But yeah, no, look, Melbourne was just too good for Bulldogs on Sunday, and yeah, just Bulldogs there. It's going to be a really tough year. I think Jamara's already leaving to go to Hawthorn next year. So there goes that. But yeah, no, Melbourne too good for the Bulldogs.
Bruno, did you watch this one?
Didn't watch it, but I did. I was just catching up on my sleep before the Port game. But looking at some of the stats here, I can see that both teams tied for inside 50s, and the Doggies actually took one more mark inside 50. So the absolute dominance that the D's put on the scoreboard seemed to, just come from general play. I mean, had a few multiple goal kickers there. One thing I had heard about the game that I again obviously didn't see, but and perhaps someone can vouch for me if this was the case, but a Doggies fan came into me work and we were talking about the game, and he said to me that it seems as though that Jamara's the target for them when they're heading inside 50, and they have just as good an option in Norton, who seemingly isn't getting used. And I'm looking at the stats, only 6 touches for the game. So I do have to wonder if perhaps are they utilising Norton enough? Is the impending chance that Ugle-Hagan leaves to go to another team, are they going to, trying to phrase it, are they going to sort of do wrong by Norton to try and make sure they can keep Ugle-Hagan when realistically those two could coexist and perform really well in a Curnow and Mackay sort of way? So
yeah,
I have to wonder if perhaps they're just going about things not quite the right way up forward, and it shows on the scoreboard with the same amount of inside 50s to lose by 45 is pretty remarkable. I have to wonder, is it a case of Melbourne being really good, or is it a case of the Doggies being bad? I'm not sure, because again, I didn't watch, but something to think about, I suppose.
King of the North, give us a quick rundown.
Melbourne back on track, but they might be down again next week, as John says. But yeah, this week they were good. And big trouble in little Bulldogs town, I reckon. And we might see the first coach fall on his sword maybe by round 8. You never know. So we'll have to see how they travel. He's still having this this battle with the Fox bloody commentator as well. So yeah, there's a few things going on at the Bulldogs. But for Melbourne, Van Ruin, 3 goals. Oliver was outstanding with 35 disposals. And Viney and Gorn back on track, going well, just smashing it. And Libra was probably the best for the Dogs with 32 disposals. Johansson with 26 disposals. And Hagen with 2 goals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So yeah, Melbourne just good, and that's what we expected of them. So yeah, if they keep this up, then march on.
All right. Well, the game that I've been waiting for, and Bruno, our team, Port Adelaide.
It.
They they set a record. So 16-24. 120. 24.
24. It's just unbelievable, isn't it?
10 goals, 1070 to the Eagles. Now, if we kicked half of those as goals, we would have been, an 80-point win like Johnny Carlton said last week, But, yeah, man, I was at the game. It was really, really hot. I went there with my son, sweating bullets. And yeah, I would have been like in the sun, like it was like 33 degrees, like in the shade. It would have been at least high 30s, 40s in the sun. So whoever braved enough to go in the sun, yeah, good luck to you. I'm undercover anyway, so it wasn't too bad. But look, I liked our way we played. Like, apart from missing goals, I thought our movement of the ball from the back line, using Houston, Farrell was great with his 2 goals. But yeah, just the drive from the back was elite when they got the ball. Burton as well. The thrusts going forward was, you could just say we were playing West Coast, but yeah, just the way they moved the ball from the back line was really pleasing to see. But yeah, Butters was great. Rosie had a good hit out. I thought Dixon did well, especially in that first half. He really, he did miss a few chances and didn't hit the scoreboard as much as he liked, but he did finish with 3 goals, and he did present, and he took a lot of marks. So he did a lot better than the other forwards. Big disappointments would be Finlayson. I can't remember how many behinds he scored, but
I think he was 3, or was he? Oh, he was 4. Marshall 3. Wow.
Yeah, Marshall did he was a link-up man. Marshall, he was linking really well from defense to the forward line, so he was kind of that link-up. But as in scoring goals, he was just and the other thing I would say as well was when they were going forward and hitting targets, they would always go too far wide, so their shots were coming from the pockets, not front. So that was
that's where Marshall was trying to kick from as well.
Yeah.
So he's trying to kick from out there all the time. So it makes it difficult.
Yeah, 100%. So that maybe that coincides with the 24 behinds, but yeah, it was just unfortunate we couldn't bury West Coast because percentage is so important. This year we found that out last year too, because we finished equal with Brisbane. So, and percentage is what killed us. So, look, we played all right. There was, it was a hot day. I thought the new guys did well. I thought Radigalia did really well down back. I thought Zerk Thatcher had a pretty good game for his first hit out. But let me just tell you, I thought our best player, for me, I know he probably wasn't the best on the ground, but Soldo, unbelievable ruckman. Unbelievable. Now he did have one problem where he got a goal kicked on him. I can't remember the ruckman's name for West Coast. He got muscled in one of the stoppages and he kicked the goal. But other than that, he was great. He kicked 2 goals. He can hit the scoreboard. He competes well. He's like kind of like another midfielder in there as well. So he jumps high. He's a high jumper. I just like the way he plays, and this is what Port Adelaide was missing for a long time. So good to see. Good to see. Very happy. And we'll see what happens this week against Richmond. But Bruno, I'll take it over to you because you are the Port supporter. So what do you think, mate?
Well, glad footy actually feels like it's back, and we are fantastic usually in round one. So it's always nice to start the season off with a win. You wait so long, you want to see the team form. But when they get in front of goal, I think if you just switch the goals and behinds around, that's a 90-point win, which is possibly indicative of how we were pretty dominant, save for the first quarter. I also, who was it? It was Soldo, Rosie, Butters, and Horn Francis, midfielders, mind you. So they're not the ones who the responsibility is on to kick goals. Kick 7 goals straight, which leaves the rest of the team kicking 9 goals, 24. So it's sort of one of those things where, what is everyone else doing? Are we going to see another? We've seen plenty of players just drag us over the line with their individual brilliance over the years. I think Robbie Gray has saved Ken's contract quite a few times just with his own brilliance.
100%.
And I think I hope we're not seeing similar where these blokes are going to be the ones to drag us into more wins than we perhaps deserve. But other than the scoring, I thought it was just some fluid football. Solo was massive. I mean, I don't think I've seen Lyset so useful and just so in tune with the midfielders
100%.
in any of his time with us. So I think this will be an upgrade. I was hoping to also see Sweet out there, and I think while Georgiades recovers from the ACL, I think Sweet for Finlayson could be a valuable thing to look at. I mean, obviously, he wouldn't be getting much time in the ruck, but just getting him a bit more AFL experience would be nice. And from what I heard, he was quite valuable in the first half of our practice match against North Adelaide. Of course, I hear he was rested after half time and we choked a 54-point lead or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's always fun. But yeah, it was generally a good game, save for the scoring, which leaves me feeling very conflicted. I'm happy we won by, 50? But when it was a game that we could have and probably should have won by closer to 100, leaves you with a bit of an odd feeling. And we were directly robbed of 2 goals too, I might add, with the out of bounds.
Yeah.
I think Timmy G
100%.
called it best. Timmy G on 5AA said his boot was still wet from the Torrens River. That's how far out he was. So
100%.
And they Harley Reid ran off the mark, and maybe because of the excessive media attention, and he's the new guy, everyone. How can you not know he's the new guy? The ump decides to explain the rule, and we miss out on a goal. Dixon should have drilled the kick after that, but yeah, stuff like that really sucks it out of you, But footy.
It's footy, man. Well, look, quickly on Finlayson, I reckon if Ollie Lord was fit and he wasn't injured, I reckon Finlayson wouldn't be playing yesterday. I reckon, or the day before. Sorry, I reckon, I reckon he would have taken his spot and Finlayson would have been in the 2. So he's lucky he's got a spot and he's not doing himself any favors without kicking goals. Now I know it's hard sometimes, but I know he's going through a lot with his partner. But
Absolutely,
yeah. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm happy with the win.
It is. Yeah.
Johnny Carlton, any words on this game? I know that you were watching the King of the North, do the robot dance on HFD Media. But what do you think of Port's performance?
Yeah, no, look, I was trying to watch King of the North, but it just couldn't happen. It just wasn't working. I just don't know. There was about something not happening in Melbourne, in the city at that point. But look, obviously, look, I watched this game on mute because I cannot stand Kelly Underwood. All right,
Oh yeah, she's terrible. Terrible.
I can't.
It was unbelievable, wasn't it?
I can't watch a game when she's commentating. So I watched the game, but it was on mute. Yeah, no, look, as I said, I thought Port Adelaide was going to win by 80 plus or more, but it could have happened. But they were just terrible in front of goal. I just don't know what happened. They just
Terrible.
new record. They just instead of making positive records, you guys are making negative records in round one. I don't know what happened. It just went the opposite. Yeah, and as I said, it was interesting game. As I said, Jake Waterman was in Hungry Jacks by the time he got back and kicked that goal. So don't know where he was.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, look. Yeah, there was a lot of talk about Harley Reid. Obviously, there is talk about the number one draft pick. Look, he did his thing. He played all right, I guess. Yeah, look, I guess West Coast was okay in the first half, but as I said, they're going to struggle this year. It's going to be a tough year for West Coast. I did hear they're going to be premiership favourites this year, though, so that's a scary factor. So, yeah, if you want to put money on West Coast, go ahead because, yeah. But, yeah, no, as I said, look, Port Adelaide, they showed their muscles. Obviously, Big Ivan, he played his role coming in. That's what Port wanted to see. Obviously, Jordan Sweet's fighting for that spot too, but it's going to be very hard now with Ivan playing that well. As I said, the new recruits did well. One of my best mates, yeah, he came on for a bit, which was good to see.
Frankie Evans.
He was there. Yeah,
he was good. He was good.
He was the sub, so yeah, he came on for a bit. Yeah, no, as I said, I thought this game was going to be obviously more than 50 points, but yeah, 50 points. That's a dub for West Coast in my opinion. So
yeah, I thought West Coast, like, even though they are going to be down the bottom, I thought there was slight improvements in the way they played, especially Harley Reid. I thought there was some good run from them, especially early on in the game. So if you're a West Coast supporter, I'd be pretty happy with some of the stuff that you saw. It's going to take time, man. Like they're like 3 to 4 years away until they can really challenge again. So and some of the old guys like Gaff was terrible. So was Jack Darling. I just thought they could have had another player there. I just don't think the rest of the team looked not too bad, but those two there, they just look old and slow. So. But other than that, I think West Coast are definitely heading in the right direction, but it's going to take time. Definitely. But King of the North.
Did anyone catch? Oh, sorry.
No, go, Bruno. Go.
I was just going to say, did anyone catch? I mean, Johnny Carlton, you wouldn't have because you had the game on mute. But Kelly Underwood said West Coast pass mark this year is 6 to 8 wins.
Yeah.
I'm normally not critical of her because commentary is not easy to do by any means, but. To 8.
No.
Something.
No.
She does my head in. Oh.
I reckon 3 to 4 maybe would be.
If I heard that, I would have turned the TV off.
I genuinely laughed when I heard it, to be honest.
6 to 8 wins, she reckons.
Nah, that's not a part. That's like overachieving. I think.
Yeah. A pass mark in West Coast's eyes is not losing by more than 100 points this year.
Yeah.
That's a pass mark for me.
Yeah. I mean,
and for Harley Reid not to get injured. That's my 2 pass marks for West Coast.
Hey, well, if it kicks straight,
North will be winning 6 to 8, not West Coast.
Yeah, more likely.
Yeah.
So, all right, King of the North, quickly give us a rundown.
West Coast were better. Petruccelli 3 goals. He was really good. He had a really good game. I know you said the older guys were bad, but they did, like McGovern, Gaff, Yo, Darlings helped West Coast be a bit more stable than they have been. So, and Waterman with 2 goals. Harley Reid, a lot of hype, 16 disposals and 2 marks. But Yeah, he'll just he got a lot of attention and was causing a lot of attention, so getting it out there. But yeah, Port with work to do, I reckon. Your forwards like Charlie Dixon and your big forwards need to be kicking more than 3 goals against West Coast. Like just the same as Carlton, you've got to be kicking 4 to 6, like GWS do. You had like Rosie, Horn Francis, Drew, Soldo, Farrell all kicking 2, and Rosie's stats, like he was pretty outstanding, 27 disposals, 10 marks and 17 kicks, and Butters was good as well. But your forwards have just got to be kicking goals. Like they should have been kicking 10 goals, 10 to 12 goals on yesterday. So if you want to be top 4, then they've got to improve big time.
Yeah, I agree,
good
man.
win. 50-point win. Good.
Yeah, I agree. The goal kicking's an issue. But yeah, hopefully they can fix that. But I think the way they're playing, like apart from the goal kicking, I think the way they move the ball, some of those slingshots were elite. But we were playing against West Coast, let's not forget. So let's see if they can do it against like a Carlton or a GWS. That's going to be the test. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think elite is a bit of a strong word.
Oh no, man! If you watch from behind and watch the way they go,
yep,
yeah, they'll kick. Just from the back line. Like even champion data does back that. So, but it is what it is, guys. Settle down, Chris. Hey, man, I'm not settling down. I'll never settle down. Anyway, last game, guys. Let's get it done. So, last game, Freo versus Brisbane. Watch this one. I'll watch the last half. Can't believe when I saw the score, I was like, what
is going on?
The heck's going on? 14-9-93 to 10-10-70. Quickly, 46 disposals to Sarong. What a game. And one more thing about Sarong. He's the most disposals in a game for Fremantle ever. So 46 in 2024, which was that game. And Peter Bell was 44 in 2001. So outstanding game from Sarong and Fremantle. I didn't see the first half where Fremantle were pretty much on top. I saw Brisbane come back a bit in that last quarter. But I can't believe is the 2 grand finalists, right, are 0 and 2. Johnny Carlton, what is going on? Are we in a twilight zone or what?
First of all, kids, do not bet. All right? Just don't bet. All right? Look, as I said, I was like, man, Sunday was weird. We had Melbourne Bulldogs, shit game. Port Adelaide was just, I was like, come on, this has to be entertaining. Look, it was all right. As I said, Brisbane were kicked the first 2, and then Freo just went up. I don't know who this Freo team is. They just rocked up, and they just was killing them. Brisbane just looked lost. Look, obviously Lockie Neal not there. Sarong was on another level. He was flying high. So Look, Brisbane and Collingwood both 0 and 2. I don't think anyone would have thought that after round 1. But as I said, look, Freo. To people that watched the game, so they had a guy get stretched off with concussion. They had a guy get a hamstring, and then they had another guy did his knee. So Fremantle had 3 guys down too. But look, they looked better than Brisbane. Jai Amos was just incredible. As I said, Sarong was just so right. Yeah, how could he be so wrong if he's so right? We're getting 46 disposals. Obviously, look, Brisbane, this is the hardest thing. Brisbane to Perth is the longest trip in the whole AFL, right? So is that a factor? It could be. As I said, it's just Freo looked like they came to play, and Brisbane thought this was going to be an easy game, and Freo proved them right and came 23 points victorious. And Charlie Cameron, I'm never going to forget you. So You're a dog, but yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks for costing me $350, Charlie Cameron. I love you.
Look, you know what I think as well? Like losing Coleman last week in that back line, I think doesn't help Brisbane at all. I think he used to set up a lot of their play from the defensive half, especially last year. Like a lot of their scoring came from him, like coming back from the back half. So yeah, losing him has maybe like rattled their, I don't know, their structure maybe a bit. So until they can correct that, maybe you might not see the best of Brisbane, but hopefully Duday does come back soon and can help them in that role. But yeah, Bruno, what do you reckon?
Yeah, look, this was quite a save for the start, obviously, where the Lions were winning. This was just comprehensive, very good stuff from Freo. I mean, Sarong getting so much of the footy, Amos kicking 4 goals, just a lot to like. I mean, it's hard to assess. They obviously didn't play a full strength Brisbane. You're missing one of the best midfielders in the comp in Neil, and Coleman, massive loss for Brisbane. But that being said, I don't want to undersell the players Brisbane did have out there by any means, and I think what Freo were able to do was truly remarkable. I don't think many people, if any, would have given Freo much of a chance to win that. So it'll be good for their confidence to have pulled a win no one thought they were capable of, and should hold them in good stead as they progress throughout the year. So I'm quite happy for Freo there, to be completely honest.
Yeah, you got to be. Yeah, I've got a lot of friends that are Freo supporters. My best mate, bless his soul, who passed away, huge Freo supporter. So I always keep in touch with his son, and he was ecstatic. He couldn't believe it. He was like texting me, going, "What's going on?" Like I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like it's unbelievable. So we said last week, Freo, they're a bottom side. Like there's no way they're going to beat Brisbane. Brisbane going to be hungry after what Carlton did to them last week. So, and it just wasn't the case. And, yeah, all credit to Freo, 100%. King of the North, give us the rundown, man.
Yeah, Freo great. Brisbane, what is going on? So we just don't know what's happening there. So we'll see what happens next week. But, yeah, very interesting for Brisbane. Freo 8 goal kickers in the game, so they had plenty of blokes putting their hands up, wanted to kick goals. As you said, Sarong was fantastic, but Brayshaw was outstanding right behind him as well. 32 disposals, so he did well for Brisbane. Danaher, Hipwood 3 goals, Dunkley 26 disposals, 9 marks, 13 kicks, and but Freo just contained them really well and didn't really let them play, and ended up having a field day. So good on you, Freo. And 6PR will be talking about West Coast because that's what they do in Perth, and not giving the kudos to Freo that they deserve on the radio.
Hey, that's what $5 lads do too. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry. That's why I listen to SEN. Right. I listen to SEN. They're more they're not as biased on SEN. But look, that is the rounds, guys. I know it took a while because we went through that Tassie jumper thing took a while. So sorry, guys, it's gone for a bit longer than normal. But look, quickly go. The attendance record was 413,405 all through the round. So it's a new record for the AFL. So well done to everyone that went to the game. So awesome stuff. The ladder. I mean, you can't really look at the ladder, but yeah, GWS is on top. Sydney Swans, Gold Coast, Carlton's 4th, Port's 5th, Fremantle, Essendon 7th, 8th is Melbourne. Then you got Geelong, Crows at 10th, St Kilda, Brisbane, Hawthorn, Richmond, Collingwood. Collingwood's 15th with a really shit percentage. North Melbourne, West Coast, Western Bulldogs, and West Coast sit down the bottom. All right, guys, we're going to go through the games quickly and just quick tips, and then we'll get out of here. So Thursday night, Pies versus Saints. Johnny Carlton, we'll start with you. Who are you going, man? What's your tip?
You know what it's time for.
Oh, all right. I know exactly what it's time for, my friend. Here we go. Johnny Carlton's bold call of the week. Let's hear it, man. Let's hear the bold call, my friend.
Round 2, bold call of the week is St Kilda will beat Collingwood by 5 goals.
5 goals.
That is a bold call, man.
That is.
Yeah, look, obviously Collingwood 0-2 for the first time in history. They're going to be 0-3. Good for them. Hope they get 0-20, but obviously we wish for some things. But bold call of the week. St Kilda will win by 30 points or more. So yeah, I think St Kilda will get their first win of the season. So Max King with 4 goals as well.
Wow. All right, Bruno, where are we going with this one?
I think I'm going Collingwood here. I will say, though, I think if the Saints win it, 5 goals does sound about right. But I just can't fathom a world where the Pies go from winning the flag to losing their first 3. It just doesn't sit right. So I have to lean towards, I think, the Pies get their first win.
All right. King of the North, give us your thoughts on this game, man. What do you reckon? Who are you tipping?
St Kilda played really well against Geelong at home, so I'm going to go with St Kilda as well.
I'm going to go Saints. You know what? Johnny Carlton, you've inspired me, man. You've inspired me. I'm going 5 goals.
I know, 5 goals.
5 goals.
Yep.
St Kilda gets it done. 5 goals. Even KP saying it in the chat. Don't At Me reckons 37. Nah. All right.
And are they playing at Marvel or are they playing at MCG?
No, Saints home game at the G.
Okay.
Oh, that's weird.
That may be a problem, but anyway, I'll stick with St Kilda.
All right. This is the one that's gonna ruffle a few feathers in the chat. The Crows versus the Cats, Friday night at Adelaide Oval. Johnny Carlton, what's your tip here, man?
Yeah, look, Tex is back. I reckon Adelaide will be back too. I'm going Adelaide.
Bruno?
Well, there is a part of me where I think now that I've said I'm not going to tip the Crows, they probably are going to get up. But I've got to stick to my guns, and I've got to say the Cats, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Sorry to the Crows fans, but you know why I think the Cats are very good. There's a very obvious reason, and I will never shake that, I don't think. So I've got to go the Cats here.
All right. I got a few people going. Don't At Me goes Crows by 60. Crows by 48 goals, KP reckons. There you go. All right.
The reason, KP, is 2007, and the following matches is the reason why. That's why I think the Cats are just better than they are sometimes.
Yeah, true. All right. King of the North?
Geelong by 60.
Oh, shit. All right. Geelong by 60. Jeez. All right. Dan's going to like that one. Crows by 35.
I'm bitter and twisted. I'm bitter and twisted after last week.
Mate, I'm going the Cats. Go, you Catters. Smash those Crows. I reckon 13 points would do it. You break my heart. Not 60. I reckon about 12 to 13 points. I reckon it'll be a close one, but I reckon the Cats for me. Childo banned from the studio. All right, next one. This is interesting. Roos versus the Dockers. Now, I'm not sure exactly where. Is this in Hobart?
Marvel.
Marvel, okay. Look, man, you can't go past the Dockers. Like, they beat Brisbane. Like, if they can continue that going into next week, I mean, North Melbourne looked good in patches last week, but they went Fremantle. Fremantle looked amazing. So I'm going to go first here. I'm going to go Fremantle by plenty. I can't tell you exactly. I reckon over 25 points. Johnny Carlton?
I'm going North Melbourne.
Okay.
Yeah, I just reckon North were better than Freo. Obviously, North showed up to GWS. I just feel like it's in Melbourne. I reckon North will get their first win. So, North Melbourne for me.
Beautiful. Bruno, what do you reckon?
Got to go Freo here. I think the travel will be a little bit of a factor, but Yeah, hard to go past Freo after last week. As as close as North managed to pull it, I don't think they've got it in them against Freo this week.
Yep. Okay. Well, I reckon it actually could be a close game. Actually, could be a close game. King of the North. What do you reckon?
Marvel. I think Marvel's going to be a factor, and they were very good against GWS. So I'm going North as well. By 2 goals.
Jeez. Okay. All right. So there you go. Next one. This is an interesting one too. Hawks versus the D's. Now the Hawks, obviously they couldn't kick straight. Sicily is playing, so that's good for them. But I think Melbourne, they just showed how good they were against the Dogs last week, and I just think they're going to be too strong for the Hawks. So Melbourne, I'll go, I reckon 5 goals. Johnny Carlton?
Yeah, Melbourne for me. Easy.
Yeah. Bruno?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with both of you. Melbourne 5 goals sounds about right here.
Yep, me too.
All right. Next game. Swans versus Essendon. Mate, the way Swans played last week with their ball movement, can't go past the Swannies. I reckon they're going to win. I think it's at the SCG, this one, so they're definitely not losing there anytime soon. Sydney by, 6 goals. Johnny?
Hey, Essendon fans, you want a reality? You'll get it after Saturday night. Sydney will smash you. Now comes Sydney by 6 goals. And Essendon fans, you can keep going back to your mums and cry. See you later. Bye-bye. Get it out of here. Reality's going to hit you on Saturday night.
I might have to cut that one and put it on TikTok. All the Essendon fans are going to go nuts. Bruno, what do you reckon, man?
I'm going Sydney, and I'm confident enough in that to put that in my streak tipping competition, where I just pick the ones I'm certain of, and I think that's one that I'm pretty set on. Sydney should win that one pretty easily. Yeah,
everyone looks like they're going Sydney in the chat. King of the North.
Yeah, my mate Paul will be sad again after the weekend, and Sydney by 5 or 6 goals.
Yep. All right, next game. Interesting game. The Dogs versus Suns. Look, I think it's at Marvel, this one, isn't it?
No, Ballarat.
Oh, Ballarat. I reckon. I don't know. I saw the Suns fade a bit last week after in the Adelaide game, and I reckon we saw them fade against Richmond. So I think it's time for them to fade altogether. So I reckon the Bulldogs will get their first win at Ballarat. They just play better there. So yeah, Bulldogs for me. Johnny?
Yeah, same for me. As I said, Bulldogs are an up inside team. So yeah, Bulldogs for me in Ballarat. They play good in Ballarat, Bulldogs. So
they do.
Dogs for me.
Bruno?
Yeah, I'm pretty content with going the Bulldogs here. It depends what version of each team comes out, really. But Doggies. Pretty easy pick here.
And King of the North?
Sticking with the Suns. I've got to get them into the top 8, so I'll go with the Suns.
All right. This one is our boys. So Richmond versus Port Adelaide. Look, I did like what Richmond did last week, and I'm not going to lie to you, man. It's a nervous game because they came out and played. They hunted. They put pressure on Carlton. So it's at the MCG. As Daniel Norton said, you're always up against it when you're playing Richmond at the MCG. So, but in saying that, I can't go against my boys, and I can, but not this early on. I think they should be able to beat Richmond comfortably, and if they get the kicking straight right, then it should be a win to Port Adelaide. So, can the pair. Johnny, what do you reckon?
Look, there's a saying in Port Adelaide, and it says never tear us apart, right? But I think they're going to tear Richmond apart this week because, mate, as much as what Richmond did to Carlton, they're still the shittest team in the AFL. So Port Adelaide by like 40 points for me. They're going to tear you apart. See you later, Richmond. Bye-bye. Get out of here.
Not according to
That's
Don't At Me
standard.
and KP. They reckon 119 points. Jeez, far out. Don't give us those heart attacks. Bruno, what do you reckon, man?
I would say I think I'd go with us for this one. Port to win this here. I think I'll be going to this one, so that should be good. And
nice.
at least last year, I think I went to a Richmond Port game on a Sunday during Indigenous round, and no one rocks up. Richmond have got some fair weather fans. You're basically playing a neutral venue sometimes in these games. They just, so I reckon will be a good chance to get up and hopefully by a lot.
Yeah. Okay. King of the North, please tell me you got good news.
If you want to be the real deal, then you've got to beat Richmond. So I'm tipping Port, and you better win by 30 or 40.
Or the King will slay you in his dreams.
Well, your forwards need to kick some goals. How about Charlie kicks 5 or 6? That'd be nice.
Hey, at least he scored. The other forwards couldn't even score a goal, man. At least he scored something.
Somebody's got to kick some goals down there.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want 24 behinds, that's for sure. All right, last game of the round. Eagles versus the Giants. It is at, it's over in the west, so a bit of a hike for the Giants, but I'm going Giants by plenty. I think they're just too good at the moment. They're the benchmark at this present time. So Giants by about 40 to 50, I reckon. Johnny?
Yeah, look, I'm going to give West Coast some credit here. I reckon GWS by about 6 goals. No, I don't reckon it's going to be more than about 50 points. Hopefully it's a good day for the Eagles fans. Hopefully Harley Reid can kick a goal or something like that to hype up the crowd and something like that. But GWS too strong, unfortunately. So yeah, then with GWS about 6 goals. So
yeah, Bruno.
Yeah, I think irrespective of the venue, this is arguably the best team in the comp against the worst team in the comp. So I can't fathom a possibility where the Eagles beat the Giants, although they did last year. So anything's possible. But realistically, in 2024, it would be very hard to go past the Giants here.
Yep, I agree. King of the North.
Yep, same Giants for me.
Well, it's that time of the night, guys. I know we've gone over overtime, so I really apologise for that. But it's been a great podcast. We, heard Johnny's rant. We, that was a good rant. Heard about Port Adelaide. It was really good, guys. I really love talking footy with you guys. Guys, if you're brand new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And, guys. Any last words before we go, before we hit the hay?
Yeah, hopefully the Blues can win this week, so that'll be good. Oh, wait, we're not playing. Shattered.
I know.
This week there is.
What am I going to do without Carlton playing? What am I going to do? It's just going to be...
You can go past...
I already had 6 months of this, not watching Carlton play. Now I have to do it again. It's just...
You can go past the King of the North's house. He's got a free Port Adelaide t-shirt you can give you, and you can play in Barrack the Port, all right?
No worries.
Any other last words, guys? Bruno? King?
Nah, all good. Thanks to everybody in the chat who's come in and watched us tonight, and hope you're enjoying the footy show. And we'll just keep on rolling.
Yeah, and tomorrow night, guys, we will be doing a podcast. I'll be back in the studio with KP, so make sure you join us tomorrow night. I can't remember what the topic's going to be, but there'll be something. I can't remember.
We have a flashback of Sunday, Viking in the North. See you later, mate.
What happened to Bruno? Bruno's gone.
Bye.
No, Bruno's here. It's King of the North.
What happened to King of the North?
Oh, he disappeared, mate.
He disappeared. It's his internet, man.
Around on the spots.
What happened to him? Oh, here he is.
Hey!
There you go. I'm back.
I remember you benched him though. All right, guys. KP, Don't At Me, Toby, Shannon, all the guys over here earlier as well. I can't remember the names. Champ and who else was there? Brooke, Jamar. Thank you all for coming in. The moment. Thank you guys for coming in.
G23.
We'll be back also for watch-alongs on the weekend, so make sure you tune in, like, share, subscribe. And we'll see you next time, guys. Stay hunky, guys.
Stay hunky.
Go to power. Go to power. Go power.